Hello, welcome to Gemstone Tarot, Tuesday 28th of July 2026. And I wanted to say 2023, and I don't know why, and that's just the way it goes. We have a mild reprieve in the weather here in the UK, and then tomorrow onwards we're back into a heat wave. I know, actually been some breeze, which has been nice, and I've been feeling the windows rattle. I know, and I was like, I remember you rattle, there is wind. So I forgot to water my plants last night as well, just remembering that now. Ugh. Okay, successfully grown some very good chilies. Can somebody tell me, because this is the first time I've ever grown them, and I am not a gardener by a very long chalk, right? So I grew them out of just curiosity. They've grown like mad, but I don't really eat them much. Can you sort of cut them off? How do you cut them off? Do you snip them off with a pair of scissors? How do you know when they're big enough and ready? And then can you just like dry them out somewhere or something? Or do they just go mouldy and rotten and all the rest of it? Let me know. Okay, Tarot of the 78 Doors. I will take you in reverse, actually, as the actress said to the bishop. Hello. Hang on. Which one? Oh, okay. God. Okay. Very muff, as they say. Right, we have the Empress in the reverse to start out with. So there's something, when you got the, it's not the Empress actually, it's the Ace of Pentacles. It looks like the Empress though, because they use the same woman as the Empress. So Ace of Pentacles in reverse. It's actually sort of the same meaning as the Empress in reverse. Think of the Ace of Pentacles as your plan. Like if you were, you know, when they build a town hall thingy, and then there's like somebody will build a mini town hall model thing, and then everybody will gather around this model and go, oh yes, that's a good plan for the atrium of whatnot thingy. And then somebody's done some CAD designs, you know, all that stuff. You're making a plan, it's becoming 3D, you're putting it out there. The thoughts that you had were turned into things on a computer thingy, or even, you know, a drafts person would do it back in the day, blah, blah, blah. And then somebody gets some bricks and some mortar and builds it. Okay? When you've got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, you shelve those plans and you don't build it. It doesn't come into being. It's not the right time. The doors wouldn't fit. Something isn't quite cricket about it. So this can be about anything. And we are in this slightly ditzy shadow stage of Mercury retro whatnots. And then there's all sorts of other astro stuff going on. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments. But I feel astrological shenanigans. I feel them. My friends are reporting them, as in they're not saying, hello, hi Gemma, I've got astrological shenanigans, but they're saying, this is weird, that's weird, this is weird, and I'm like, I'm getting astrological shenanigans. So let me know what they are if you're an astrological shenanigan expert. That was a lot. Okay, oh yes, icy water is my friend. So if you were thinking of like a soft launch or a hard launch or just a launch, maybe it's impossible to shift that timing or whatever, but I would if you could. You know what I mean? If you have to plough on, you have to plough on. If you do, just expect there's going to be some jiggery pokery, some setbacks, some why has everybody made that 4 foot when it should have been 2 foot and nobody got my email, you know, all that kind of such boring stuff. Expect bad admin, okay? There's nothing worse than bad admin. Bad admin. I remember bad admin. when a solicitor, and I was somebody's legal secretary ages ago, and somebody said, casually, like they do when you're young and you don't know what you're doing, see this document, can you take out the widows and orphans? And if you know, you know, let me know in the comments. Can you take out the widows and orphans? This turned out to be one of those hideous formatting things, which is what I'm talking about here, where you take one thing out and the whole thing goes dun-dun-dun. And of course, it being a solicitors, they were about 10 years behind on the IT, so we were working on about Windows 1066 or whatever it was. Yeah, and I remember that. And I also remember the words widows and orphans for it. I thought that was fascinating. But nobody wanted to talk to me about how fascinating that was. They just wanted the document done. So what I'm saying is there will be devil in the detail, and it will just be maths face all round. We get the High Priestess. So we know with the High Priestess, where's the door? Is the door the crystal ball? Is the door the curtain behind her? Notice they've got the two different coloured curtains because it matches the two different coloured pillars that you'd get in the Rider-Waite. I love details like that. Anyway, High Priestess is telling us that we need to go within and be our own High Priestess, that the plans and the details and the drawings are not going to do the business, okay? Also, we get the Five of Wands, which very interestingly is a bricked up door. And we're talking here about bricks and mortar, but also about, and it's really weird because this is about scratching an itch, and there are things within whatever this is that you don't like, they don't feel right. Maybe they look right, but they don't feel right, and you want to kind of see what's behind. You want to see what's behind the door. You want to see what's behind the facade. Okay, whether it's a project, a person, a relationship, or whatever. Seven of Swords is in reverse. But yeah, notice this is actually very much what we're talking about. Someone's drawing a door, but it's not the door they're seeing. They're doing something a bit different. But it's in the reverse, so I do quite like that. But I do see that rather than, in some ways, when it's reversed, you can say it's passing out of something. I'm kind of seeing it more historical. There are historical hitches to this that you're picking up on that maybe aren't recorded or someone hasn't said, or if it's a person, a relationship, there are historical things that haven't been talked about. And Seven of Wands, you're like, okay, these two would tell you actually, let's unbrick the door, let's roll away the stone, you know, let's see what's in the cave. And Scorpios are all going to relate to this because Scorpio, your August reading was all about the cave, wasn't it? Took me 2 days to recover from that reading. Okay. Then we have the Six of Pentacles, which normally is really, really nice because the Six of Pentacles is about receiving. Six of Pentacles is about what is a gift. But there's also something here I just kind of... This is like the bad gift set. You know when something... It's glittering the turd. So somebody does something, maybe a corporation or a retail thing or whatever it is, and or maybe it's one of those things where if you sign up, oh, new neighbours, I know they're just working on the house, gosh, yeah, maybe it's one of those things where if you sign up you get a free gift, but the free gift is like to distract you from the fact that the thing is actually quite crap, the actual product that you're getting. So this is like, and does anybody remember those Body Shop gift sets? I used to get so excited about those. I used to make them up for you in the shop and you could make up your own one. Do you remember that? I'll have some fuzzy peach shower gel, 3 of those hideous oil. Do you remember those? What the hell was in the shell of those that dissolved when you got in the bath? I know. And some peppermint foot lotion, please. But anyway, that notwithstanding, this is the it's not an unwelcome, it might be a welcome gift set, but it's a bit iffy. Then we've got the Six of Wands in reverse. Yeah, this is not a situation where I would seek a successful outcome. I just not seek it for now. Whether you can pick it up again or put it down again, or, you know, it will have another time, we don't know. But don't ignore your intuition, okay? Leave me a comment. I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.